So like I said, 3 points is what? A good trade. So now if you go back to our class, what we have here is what? It's just 1 point. So it's not even good to take. You see that it's against the currency strength. Currency strength meter is telling us to sell. And Cashtrap is calling what? It's calling buy. It's against the currency strength. So where we're looking for is what? We're expecting to see what? A red arrow instead. We want the strength to be what? Sell. And we want the trade type to be what? To be put. So once we have the currency strength meter 1 point for sell, we have what? The trade type put. That's what we should be seeing a red arrow once it's put here. That's when we put ourselves. We now have 2 points, right? We now have 2 points as a trade setup. We have a 2 points trade. So how many of us understand till the second point? Currency strength meter, first point, then the arrow, second point, if it agrees with the currency strength meter. So how many of us understand this part? How many of us understand this part? Faithfulness, you don't understand. Thank you for being honest. Divine, please come again. All right, I'm going to take it one more time. I'll take it one more time. I'll take it one more time. Now, I'm going to draw again. I'm going to write again on the screen. Now, let's consider this. Let's consider Euro. Let's consider Euro USD. Let's consider Euro USD. Come in, let me see. Simple. Like, people should be able to catch it. It's very, very simple. The explanation I'm doing now, it's so easy to understand this thing. It's very, very easy to understand. Now look at, let me actually write on the screen. Look at the currency strength here. USD, JPY. USD strength is 10. JPY strength is 27. USD is 10. JPY is 27. Which of these currencies are stronger? Between the two, which of them is stronger? Drop in the chat. Between the two, which of them is stronger? Between the two, which of them is stronger? JPY, okay. Faithfulness. I think you're the one that said you don't understand. Now let me look out for you. Faithfulness and divine. Faithfulness and divine. Now I need you to respond. I need people to respond. I need to see your response in the chat. Which of them is stronger? Faithfulness. So tell me which of them is stronger? USD or JPY? JPY. So now, who do you think is going to win? JPY is supposed to win. They are doing a tug of war. USD is trying to drag the market to the top because it's on top. JPY is trying to drag the market to the bottom because it's at the bottom. But now, since JPY is stronger, the market is going to go what? The market is going to drop. The market is going to drop because what? 27 will pull the market down because 27 is stronger than 10, right? 27 is stronger than 10. So the market is going to do what? Sell. Therefore, we are looking out for what? For put. Straightforward. Very, very easy. It's very simple. The strength of the market will determine the direction, or the strength of the currency pair, will determine which currency is going to have the charge of the market. So JPY is stronger. So that means it will pull the market down. Imagine two people. Yes, so we are selling faithfulness. Exactly. Imagine two people doing tug of war. One person is at the top, right? This is one person at the top. This person's power or strength is just 10. Another person is at the bottom. This person's power is 27. 27 is stronger than 10. The person at the bottom will pull the market down to this person's direction. That's what is sell or put. It's very, very simple, right? Just look at what you're looking at, the currency strength meter. You're looking at the currency strength meter. It's very, very easy to understand, right? So look at, it has changed again, right? I told you that the hourglass will update every 5 minutes. So the strength will be changing. But as far as we are still looking for what? We are still looking for sales in the market. It's still sales. So it's very, very straightforward. So now let me take an example for a buy before we proceed. Let me take an example for a buy. Let me take an example for a buy so that everybody is following, everybody is understanding. So let me take an example for a buy real quick so that we can finish on time. The market is about closing, so I don't think we'll be able to take a trade, but maybe I could just still show you what taking a trade when the market is open looks like. Although I would have loved to do this real quick. Let's try and see if we can meet up. Let's see if we can try and meet up. Let's see if we can try and meet up. All right, so let me look for the one that has a buy example, where the top is actually stronger than the bottom. So you can actually search through the alert panel looking for trades. It's not, I see some people making a mistake, right? They only look at the ones that are at the top. They forget that you have so many trade opportunities all the way down. Okay, look at this one, NZD USD. Something like this is a good one out. I think we should look at. Okay, we change the print. It said Euro USD. Okay, let's do with the one you have. Let's do with the one you have. Perfect. Perfect. So you see, Euro USD has what? Its own currency strength meter. Okay, I'm trying to. $31.14 exactly. So now look at Euro USD, right? Euro is what? Euro is 31. USD is what? It's 40. So now which one is stronger? Guys, when you start dropping in the chat. Are you seeing Cashtrap is even calling a 5-point trade? But now, don't worry, we are going to understand how we get to 5 points trade or 5 points or 5 confirmations. Euro is stronger. So what do you expect the market to do? Euro is going to do what? It's going to pull the market upwards because the top is stronger. We look for buys. It's so simple. The market will go up. It's very simple. Faithfulness. I'm happy you're getting it right. So Euro is stronger. The market is going to do it. The market is going to buy. So that is all we are doing. So now, the currency strength meter telling us Euro is stronger, 31 and 14. And Cashtrap is also telling us what? Cashtrap is also, this trade is a valid trade. It agrees. Currency strength meter is telling us to do what? The market will go up. It will buy, it will call. And Cashtrap is equally telling us to do what? To call. This is a valid trade you can take. So how many of us understands? How many of us understands it now? How many of us understands it now? If you understood it, let me see it in the chat. If you understood it, let me see it in the chat. Drop a yes in the chat. So I want to move forward to the next thing. I do. Okay, perfect. All right. So everybody understands. So now let's move to the next thing. So now, once we are able to get the currency strength meter telling us to buy, that's our first point for buy. We have what? Cashtrap telling us to buy again. We get a green arrow. That is what? That's 2 points. Where do we see the Cashtrap? Mr. Divine, this thing we are looking at, this thing I've been explaining since is Cashtrap. Hourglass is Cashtrap. Inside Hourglass, this strategy we are looking at is what? Is Cashtrap. I don't know if you've been following from the start, because it wants to look like you've not been following. This is Cashtrap. This whole interface we are looking at is what we call Cashtrap. Is what we call Cashtrap, right? Check his package. Exactly. I said if you have the elite package, if you paid for the elite package, you have access to this, right? If you have the HFX package alone, Cashtrap is an add-on. So you normally have to pay what, $23 to get access to Cashtrap. So now we've understood what the first and the second point. So now let's look out for what the third point. What makes us have a third confirmation? What makes us have what? A third confirmation. Just give me a minute. Let me refresh. Let me see. I don't know why this USD JPY doesn't want to leave my screen. All right, let me do something. Let me stop sharing screen. Then I'll share again. All right, let me share again. All right, so now what actually makes us have a third point? So the third confirmation is what we call support and resistance. Now, support and resistance. Support zones or support areas. Can you set the app to update every minute? No, Chukuka. Like I said, Cashtrap updates every 5 minutes. You have no control over it. It updates on its own. You can't set it. So support is the green lines we have on Cashtrap, and resistance is the red lines we have on Cashtrap. And now, like I said, according to colors, according to how we have the broker set up, right? The green indicates what? Buys. The red indicates what? Sell. So if I say the third point is what? Green lines, that's where we take our buys, right? We take buys or calls at the green lines. So write it down. The third point or third confirmation, support and resistance. The supports are the green lines. Then the resistance is the red line. So you can write it down. We are taking buys or calls at the green lines, and we are taking sells or puts at the red line. This is your third confirmation. This is your third point. So if you've written it down, drop done in the group, in the chat box, so that we can go look at it. Drop done in the chat box so that we can go look at it. Support is the green line, and we take buys on the green lines, and resistance is the red, and we have to be taking puts or sells at the red lines. So if you've written it down, let me see you drop down. Okay, so a lot of people have dropped their down. So I believe other people are also doing what? They're also taking notes. A lot of people are also taking notes. So, okay, faithfulness done. What about Mr. Divine? Or is Divine a guy or a lady? This one I'm adding Mr. So I'm sure a lot of people are also taking notes, because I don't want anybody to be left behind. I want to believe that after this class, all 60 of us, okay, it's actually what? It's actually 59. All 59 of us understand how to trade perfectly fine with Cashtrap, right? So we've written that down. So let's go back to our class. Let me actually show you guys what the support and Divine is a guy. So I was correct, Mr. Divine. All right, so I hope you've gotten it down, right? So this is what it's going to look like. So now look at this. The currency streameter was telling us to do what? It was telling us to sell. We got a put arrow. That's 2 points, right? Now, look at this red line. These red lines are resistant lines. These green lines are support lines. Let me actually show you. See these red lines here. See this red line here. See this red line here. All these ones. These are resistance areas. We are supposed to be selling from these areas, right? So now, look at, we have one here. And how many of us can agree that the market has gotten to a red line? This blue candle here is the market. The market has currently moved to this level. It's actually shooting up. So we are supposed to be taking what? We are supposed to be taking sales at a resistance, right? But the market is about to close. That's why it's behaving like this. Market is about to close. So that's why it's behaving like this. So look at the video is lagging. Okay, just give me a minute. Let me try switch my network. Let me try and switch my network. Is the network better? Guys, can you actually hear me? Is the network better? Yes. Okay, please, I need people to respond so I know what I'm doing. So, like I said, your third confirmation or your third points are support and resistance. So anywhere you see these red lines, look at this, look at another red line here. All these things here are what we call resistance. So since we are looking out for a sell, the only business we have is what? The red lines. That's what we're looking out for. It's when we now start looking out for what? For buys. That's when we now have a business of looking at what? The green lines. We now have a business of looking for the green lines. This is it. All these green lines, we start taking consideration. We start putting them into consideration when we are looking for buys, right? So since the currency strength meter is obviously what? 24 at the bottom. JPY is 24. JPY is 24. USD is 13. We have what? We're still looking for sales. So the currency strength meter is our first point. We got a put. That's our second point. So the time we have the market coming all the way up to a red line, the red line should be where we want to take that sell, right? So the red line here is supposed to be our third confirmation. This red line here, this red line I circled here, is supposed to be our third confirmation. So that's us having 3 points, right? That's us having 3 points. How many of us are following? How many of us understand how we got the third point? How many of us understood how we got the third point? You do, right? Nkechi, okay, you do as well. Everybody understands. Great. So I don't want to rush. I don't want to rush the class. So I want Teresa, you don't. Okay, I was expecting that. Jane, you don't. The first point was what? Yeah, Jane and Teresa. Let me see you guys drop the first and second point in the chat. Some to you that said you don't. 3 of you drop the first and second point in the chat box. Let me see it. What's the first point? What's the first thing we're considering when we're taking trades? Using Cashtrap. Currency strength. Bakari, I wanted them to drop it. I didn't want you to help them out. I want to see if they're actually following. I want to see if they're following. First, currency strength, Jane. So Teresa, what's the second confirmation? Drop it in the chat. What's the second one? After the currency pair strength, what are we looking out for again? Teresa, drop it in the chat. Jane, you're not Teresa. You're not Teresa. All of you answering. I didn't call you people's names. I'm trying to help out somebody. So just chill. Teresa, is not currency square meter. It is currency strength meter. First thing you're considering, please. I'm not going to go back again. If you are not paying attention, I'm not going back again. I'm not going back again. If you're not going to pay attention, I won't go back again. Trust me. If you won't pay attention, if you won't take down notes, I won't go back again. If you don't get it, then you have to wait till next week to learn it. And I won't send out the recording. If I don't see you guys cooperating, learning together, I won't send out the recording. You have to wait till next week. The first thing we are considering is the currency strength meter. I said it. This is the currency strength meter. The bottom is stronger than the top. We are looking for sells because the bottom that is stronger will pull the market downwards. Now, put also means sell. Since it is telling us sell, sell, this is the first point. The put we are getting here is the second point. Now, the third point is what? Support and resistance. So resistances are all these red lines here you are seeing on the chart. You are seeing all these red lines on the chart. Look at it. Look at it here. All these red lines. Now, all these candles are the market. You see that this candle actually got to the red line. This candle, this blue candle, it went all the way to this red line, but it still passed the red line, right? In cases where you see the markets coming to touch the red line, that is when you can say that's your third point, right? There are so many red lines. How do I identify the exact red line that determines the trade? Jane, I just talked about it now. Pay attention. This last candle is where the market is at. Forget about all these other candles, all these other ones. Forget these other things. Look at the most recent candle. This last one, this is the market. This last one is what you're looking out for. Do we get it now? Do we understand? Or I should do it again? Do we understand or I should do it again? Got it. Teresa, how about you? How about you? You got it. Moses, you got it. You understood. So in any trade you're looking out for, what you're looking out for is what? Is the last candle. The last candle is where the market is at. The last candle is where the market is. You have no business with the former candles. Look at it. So in a situation like this, what am I looking out for? I'm looking out for this young man, this one moving, this last one. That's what I'm looking out for. You can see this blue dotted line. Are you seeing this dotted line? This line like this is actually moving with this present candle. This present candle is the one I'm looking at. This candle. Are you seeing it? Right? So this blue candle, this last one is the one I'm looking at. I'm always looking out for the last candle. That is where the market is at. That's the present candle, right? So once you open up your Cashtrap, your focus is where? The last candle. That's the market. That's the one that all these other ones are previous movements the market made. So I have no business with all these other ones. It's just this last candle I'm looking at, this one, right? So forget all these other candles. It shouldn't confuse you. It's the last candle I'm looking at. So now, like I said, the third point or the confirmation, I don't think we'll be able to take a trade or anything. The market is already closed. Look at this. Can you see this? Let me actually show you guys this. Now look at. You can all agree that this market started selling. You can all agree the market started selling. What happened? What happened to the market? After the currency strength meter told us to sell 1 point, it gave us a put 2 points. It got to a red line. Look at the red line here. What happened? It gave us a put arrow. You can see it's now a red candle. This market is going to do what? It will get here and do what? It will sell. It's supposed to sell, right? So where we see a red line, we want to take a sell. Look at what happened in the past. The market came to this red line, and what happened? It sold. It came down. It came here again. What happened? The market sold again, right? It came down. The market came here. What happened? Again, the market came down. It came here again. It did what? It came down. It came here again. It came down. you're saying that anytime it hits the red line, there's always what? A sell. It came here to this red line and it dropped. It came down again up to this point. Now it came up to this red line. And what is supposed to happen? It's supposed to sell again. So we are looking out for sells at the red lines, right? We're looking out for sells at the red lines. So the market will soon close. So don't worry, I'll just use the chart like that to explain. I'll just use the chart like that to explain. I'll just use the chart to explain. Let me do something quickly before the market closes. Let me do something quickly before the market closes. Let me try and see if I can take screenshots of the chart like this. Okay, let me do something. Don't worry, I'm actually going to send out recordings that I did previously. People are going to understand it. People are actually going to understand it. People are going to understand it. So don't worry, let me just take a screenshot for a buy and sell, so that even if the market closes, I'll still explain what we're supposed to be doing. I don't want to rush the class. I want everybody to understand. So even if the market has closed, I don't care. I just want to use this to explain. All right, so I'll take a screenshot of this one as well. Let me see. GBP USD. All right, so I think GBP USD. Is this what I'm actually saying, or something else? Once the market wants to close, Cashtrap doesn't load anymore. Oh my God. Let me see. I have about 4 minutes more. So I'm trying to see if I can get an image and just use that real quick before the market closes. Something should come up. Okay, let me see if I can quickly find something. All right, so guys, just be patient. Let me see if I can find something. Which one is this? GBP USD. Okay. GBP USD. Let me see. GJ. Why is it showing like this? See, check. I don't know why it's looking like this. I think it's because the market is about closing. All right. So perfect. This is something I can use to explain. This is something I can use to explain. So I'll take a screenshot of this so that even when the market closes, we can still use this to explain. All right, so this is it, right? This is it. So, okay, so imagine we are looking for a buy, right? Imagine we're looking for a buy. You all agree that AUD strength is 73 and USD is what? USD is 13. So in this case, AUD is what? 73, USD is 13. We agree that AUD is going to pull the market upwards, right? So let's assume, right? The market has closed, so we are just going to improvise. So let's assume we had what? A call here. Let's assume this was a call. So what are we going to be looking out for? We're going to be looking out for what? A green arrow, right? The currency strength meter is telling us that AUD is stronger than USD, is going to buy. We also have that what? Cashtrap telling us what? buy. So that's 2 points. So now, like I said, when we are buying, we are considering what? We are considering the green lines, the support lines for buys. So the moment this last candle does what? Comes all the way to this green line, to this green support line. Look at this green line. This is the support line. So immediately this candle comes to this support line. This should be where I'm taking this trade, right? Because I believe the market is going to buy. How many of us understand? If you understand, drop yes in the chat. If you don't, drop no. If you understand, drop a yes in the chat. If you don't, drop no. Everybody, yes, right? Nancy, you asked the question. So sorry, I didn't actually say it. Let me go through the chat again and oh, so sorry. Let me go through the chat and check for your question. Yes. Does the week of the candle count when you are looking for entry at resistance? Yes, it does. It also counts. Chukuka, how can you tell from the chart that the market is closed? The chart won't be moving again now. Can't you see this candle has been on one position? On one, it's just there. It's not moving again. The market is closed. So, like I said, how many of us understood it till the third point confirmation? All right, great. So when we're looking for buys, it's simple. We want to make sure that the currency strength meter, first point, the currency strength meter, the top or the first currency is the stronger one. We want to also make sure that Cashtrap has done what? That's told us what? Call. 2 points. Now, once we see the market coming down to what? A support, that is 3 points. It's so simple, right? It's very, very easy to understand. It's very, very easy to understand. It's very, very easy to understand. So if I come back here, look at what we have here. Look at what we have here. The first point, the top currency is stronger than what? The bottom. We take buys. Now, we get green arrows, or Cashtrap tells us to do what? Calls. That's our second point. Now, third point for buy, it must come, market must come to what? A green line. From the green line, that is where we are taking our buy. It's so simple. That's where we're taking our buy. So now, how can we actually take a trade like this? How can we take a trade on our broker just by having 3 points? Just by having 3 points. Let me do something. Just by having 3 points, how can we actually enter a trade? Now, guys, watch. Just look at. So what I'm going to do. How many of us agree that this is the green line we want to buy from? If you agree that this is where we should be taking our buys from, drop a yes in the chat. If you agree that this is where we should be taking our buy from, drop a yes in the chat. All right. So this is where we are taking our buys from on AUD USD. So what am I going to do? How do I know this price? How do I know the price on my broker, right? On my broker, once I see that, okay, I now have 3 points on AUD USD. So it's what? It's a good trade to take. So on my broker, IQSense or Race Options or Vide Forex, depending on what broker you use. Let me actually log in, right? Depending on what broker you use, this is how you actually get your entry. It's so simple, right? This is how you actually get your entry. So I've seen that, okay, AUD USD is setting up for what? a good buy. It has given me 3 points, a confirmation, 3 points. See, the market is closed. That's why it's behaving spiky like this. But let me just use it to explain how I would have taken entries. So I go to AUD USD. I do what? If you're taking trades with Cashtrap, you always want to take what? 2 minutes to 3 minutes trades. So let me take 3 minutes, right? I'm going to keep a fixed time on, right? So it's either you're taking 2 minutes or you're taking 3 minutes with Cashtrap. So this is what I will do. So how do I get my entry price on AUD USD? Look at my cursor. If I'm using my system, if I'm using my laptop, this cursor, I just bring this cursor to the green line. Now to the right-hand side, can we actually see the price there? To the right-hand side, can we actually see the price? What's the price there? Look at it. Look at it. This price. Once I keep my cursor on the green line, that price, right? We are focused on the last 3 numbers. So my entry for a buy is going to be what? 0.86. AUD USD call 0.86, 3 minutes. That's how we get entry prices. That is how we just get the entry prices, right? Because we are expecting the market to come to the support for a buy. So if the market comes to a support, what were we expecting? We're expecting it to bounce back. The support is like the floor and the resistance is like the ceiling. If you throw a ball, if you actually throw a ball to the ceiling, what's going to happen? Look at, if you throw a ball to the ceiling, it will hit the ceiling and what? It will bounce back to the floor. But what we see there is not 0.86. Divine, what are you actually talking about? I don't understand you. Are you actually following? Are you actually following? Are you actually following? Can you unmute yourself? Let me hear what you have to say. I really want to hear you. I don't want to just see your text on the chat box. Let me hear what you're saying.
Okay. Can you hear me now, please?
Sure, I can.
Hello. Okay. Yes. Now you placed the arrow on the green line, which is supposed to be a call, right?
Exactly.
Which is supposed to be a call, that is a buy. So when you place that your cursor there, what I'm tracing is look at that number 0.73086. So approximately, is that what you're saying?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay. I got it now.
All right, great. So just like this, you either use your cursor here on the green line, because this is the support, right? So now once I place my cursor here, I actually get 0.86 there. Or what I can do again is, on the left-hand side of my screen, we have this tool area, right? These are the tools, the drawing tools. So you just what? You come to this second one and you click on what? Horizontal line. So once I click on horizontal line, I come to this green line. I can click here. It does what? It draws a horizontal line there for me. You can see this blue horizontal line. So the blue horizontal line on the support line is automatically still giving me what? The entry price. So 0.86, it will be my entry. So what? If I wanted to take this trade, Clara, listen, the green line is my support for a buy. I'm just going to drop the horizontal line on the green line, or I place my cursor here. The price I get at the extreme right, at the end of my screen, the right-hand side. This price here, this price, look at it, I circled it. The last 3 numbers there are what? 0.86. That is my entry for what? For the call. So all I'm doing is what? I'm going back to my broker. Right? I'm going back to this broker. So if I wanted to take a buy on AUD USD, I'm selecting my 3 minutes because it's always 3 minutes maximum for Cashtrap. Fixed time on. I put my amount and I wait for what? The last three numbers to be what? 0.86. Once I get 0.86 as my last three numbers, I click on my call button. I'm taking that trade. That's how to take trades with Cashtrap. Do you understand? Do you guys understand it? How many of us understand? Let me check the chat. Bakari, have you seen how I set 3 minutes? Bakari, I don't think you should be on level 5. When did you actually sign up? Have you attended level 3? Have you attended orientation class level 3? I don't think this should be the class you should be on, because all these things, they actually teach them on level 3. So you should be on level 3 before you attend what level 4 and level 5. So now you see that once you just get the support area you want to buy from, once you just get the support area, Jojo, don't worry, you get the recording. I'll send the recording to you, right? I'll send the recording, or I'll tell Priya to send it across to you. So the green line here is your support. So this is where we should be buying from. So all I'll do is I either place my cursor here and I see the last three digits or the last three numbers, 0.86. That is my entry for a call. So all I do is what? I come over to my broker, AUD USD, for 3 minutes, fixed time on. Now your amount, remember your amount is 1% of your account. If your account is $100, you should be taking minimum $1, right? Maximum what? 2%, $2 per trade. So don't compare your account size with other people's account sizes. 1% of this account now is what? It's $21. So you wouldn't want to go and use $21 on your own as well. So don't over leverage. Don't over leverage your account. Just stick to your account size and trade. So like I said, the entry on Hourglass is what? 0.86. So all I'm doing is what? Come to my broker, click on AUD set my time for 3 minutes, fixed time on my amount. And all I'm doing is what? I'm waiting for me to see the last three numbers as well, 0.86. So once I see the market come to 0.86, I click on my call button. And that is how to easily take your trade with Cashtrap. Very, very simple, straight to the point. So it's not hard. All of you saying it is very, very hard. Don't worry, I'll drop the recording on the launch call group. It is very, very easy. It is very, very easy. So now we have just done one example for what? For buy. Now let's actually look at an example for sell, right? Let's look at an example for sell. So now let me try and see if I can find something that has the bottom bigger than the top. The bottom bigger than the top, something like this. Something like this. Now look at, we actually have the bottom. CHF is 72. Euro is what? Euro is 34. Guys, ignore this score. Why? Because the market is closed. It's no longer updating. That's why you're seeing 23 minutes ago. So ignore the time, ignore the call. Don't worry. Let me just use my drawing tool to explain. Faithfulness, if the market does not go to 0.86 on time, please wait. Don't take a wrong price. Don't take a wrong entry. Wait for the market to go to your entry. It's very, very important. Wait for the entry. Don't rush. Don't be in a hurry. Sammy, considering how the market moves fast, what if you miss the price by an inch? It happens. It happens. It actually happens. But sometimes what you want to do is, if my entry price is 0.86, right? If it gets to what? 0.80, 84, 85, I can actually still take that trade. but I don't want to have the price for entry at 0.86 and I'm entering somewhere at 0.92. It's so far. So you might end up losing the trade. So 0.86 should be my entry, right? But if it gets to 0.88, 0.87, right, I can still take the trade. So another thing is when you're taking a buy, if you're taking a buy, you want to actually take a trade on that entry or lower than that, right? If this is my support line and this is 0.86, if the market comes down to here and even goes below the line, it's still safe to take the trade because it's expected the market to still come back, right? So you can take the trade from this level for 3 minutes. Because you're expecting the market to still buy. So if you're not in profit, what you do on your broker is what? You take 2 rollovers. This is what we call rollovers. Maximum 2 rollovers. So you just take maximum 2 rollovers on your broker here, right? So imagine I took a trade from support. This is my demo account, so I'm just going to use it to demonstrate. So imagine I took a call trade here, and it has actually gone below this call area, right? What I can do is what? I can decide to do what? I can decide to roll over the trade. Look at the rollover button. I click on the rollover button, right? And allow the trade to what? To play out. So if after a while I am still not in profit, I am permitted to do what? Roll over one more time. So after I roll over the second time, and I'm still not in profit, what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to leave this trade and do what? And look for another trade idea, right? So we are not forcing the trade. We are not doing more than 2 rollovers per trade. The rule of Cashtrap is what? Once you take a trade and you're not in profit after a while, click on the rollover button to give yourself extra time. So if you're still not in profit, you can roll over a second time. After the second rollover, please do not roll over again. Just allow the trade to go, right? There are a lot of opportunities in the market, so you can still see something else. So let's actually look out for a sell example. So this one is actually a sell example. So now we have what? We have euro as what? We have euro as 34, and we have CHF as 72. We have euro as 34, we have CHF as 72. Now, guys, tell me in the chat, which one is stronger and what are we supposed to do? Which one is stronger and what are we supposed to do? Guys, don't worry, I'm coming to your questions. Which one is stronger and what are we supposed to do here? CHF is stronger, right? So CHF put faithfulness, amazing, you're getting it right. So the bottom is stronger. We are looking for put. We sell, we put, exactly. So now let's count the point system together, right? So normally I wouldn't take this trade because it's a call written there. But now since the market is closed, let's assume this was a put. They actually give us a put. Let's assume they actually give us a put. Let's assume we have what? We actually had a red arrow here. Let's assume we have a red arrow here telling us to put. So this is what we would have done. This is what we would have done. Would have counted the currency strength meter 1 point telling us to put. Would have counted what the put Cashtrap is giving us, or what the put here as your 2 points. But now look at the market came all the way to where? It came up to this red line. Let me try and zoom in a bit. Let me zoom in. Look at the market came to the red line. Look at the red line here. It came to this red line. And what happened? It dropped. See where the market is at now. It dropped. So now, if I wanted to take this trade for a sell on my broker, what would I have done? I'd have done the same thing. I would have identified what? The red line. Look at the red line here. What's the price on the red line? Drop it in the chat. What's the entry for the sell on Euro CHF? What's the entry for the sell on Euro CHF? Once I place my cursor on the red line, what's the entry for the sell, right? 474, right? 474. So you can now tell yourself, Euro CHF, 474, put for 3 minutes. You can call the trade out for yourself. You've started calling out trades for yourself just like that, right? Just by following these simple rules, just by following this simple explanation. So now all you'd have done is what? Your broker, Euro CHF. I wish the market was open to actually use, do a real practical this thing, explanation. So what am I doing? I come to Euro CHF. My 3 minutes is here. My fixed time on is here, right? My amount is here. So all I'm waiting for what is what? 474, the last three numbers. Last three numbers is all I'm waiting for, 474. So once the market gets to 474, I simply do what? I click on my put button, right? And that's how you just take the trade by yourself, confidently, without fear, right? You just take the trade like that. So obviously I would have taken the trade. By the time it came here, look at this wick, this slim wick. You know, we have candles, right? Candle, and this slim thing here is what? The wick. This is the candle. Now, this slim thing here is called the wick, candle wick, right? The candle wick tells us that the market has been up there, or it came here to at a certain point. So you can see that at some point, the market bought from the support. It came all the way up towards the resistance. And what happened? It dropped. So you can see this blue line like this is trying to show us that this is the current level of the market. It came all the way up to the top and what? It dropped. So if you entered at this red line, this resistance here, if you entered here, you would have cleared this trade. You would have been in profit just by having or following what? 3 points. Remember, we still have 4 points. We still have 5 points. We still have 6 points. We still have 7 points. So all I've been explaining is what? How to get what? A good trade setup. Why is the color blue, the line color, right? Is because the candle is currently a blue candle. The candle is currently a blue candle. So let me actually look at the charts and answer questions before we proceed on how to get the 4th point. Who changed the prince? So we have to wait to hit the resistance, then put from that point. Exactly. That's what we're supposed to do. So if it's buy, we are waiting for it to hit where? Support, then enter a buy from that point. Clarence, how does it take more than 5 minutes for the market to hit that price, that precise entry? It takes, see, one thing people should do is what? Even if it's going to take 20 minutes to hit that point, wait for it. Wait for it. If you can't wait, what are you supposed to do? Look for another trade. But if you're so keen on taking that particular trade, that particular currency pair, then you just have to wait for that entry, right? Just wait for the entry. So once you're able to get that entry, that's where you're taking the trade from. So if you're tired of waiting for it to get there, what can you do? Just look for another trade and take. So let me actually see if I can get another question. Please, which broker is actually the best to use? I don't really know of any best broker, but I have all brokers. I have IQSense, I have Forex, I have Binary Sense, I also have race options brokers. So all of them work fine. So it's not like one is better than the other. Endurance, why do we put the fixed time on? Because you want to actually have a full 3 minutes, right? This yeah market. Market is closed. That's why it's behaving spiky. I wish you actually have you actually had to do this when the market was open. Okay, so this is the reason. This is 3 minutes, right? So once the fixed time is on, what are you going to notice? If I enter a trade now, look at the time. The current time is what? Let me actually do something. If I enter a trade now for a put, look at this. Look at the start time of this trade was what? It's 21:24. And exactly what? 3 minutes later, you're going to see what? 21:24. 3 minutes later is what? 21:27, right? So it's giving you full 3 minutes. It's giving you full 3 minutes to be in this trade. But if I have my fixed time off, what do you notice? Look at, it's timing down. It's now 2 minutes, 54 seconds, 2 minutes, 53, 52. So if I decide to take a trade now, look at, see what happens. 21:25. 3 minutes later, it's supposed to be what? 21:28, but it's giving me 21:27. It's not giving me my full 3 minutes. So I always like to use, sometimes I like to keep the fixed time on so that you're getting the full 3 minutes of being in that trade. So it's left for you. You can decide to use your full 3 minutes, or you can decide to do what? Have your fixed time off, right? Most educators will call out trades and tell you to have your fixed time off, while some of them will tell you to have it on. So it depends on which works better for you. If once you start practicing and you see that, okay, having your fixed time off works a lot better for you, then you can just stick to it, right? Everybody has the way or style they take their trades. So it's not compulsory. You must follow what the other person is doing, right? So that's just how we use fixed time on or off. When fixed time is on, you can still roll over, yes. When fixed time is off, you can still roll over. Both of them, you can roll over. You can do everything. The only difference is that fixed time on gives you the complete 3 minutes you want to be in that trade. Fixed time off, it's not up to 3 minutes. So fixed time on and fixed time off, you can have a trade for 3 minutes and what? The countdown timer gets to 1 minute and 20 seconds. Even if it's selected there as 3 minutes, if this timer gets to 1 minute and something seconds, you enter a trade. It's only that 1 minute and something seconds you're getting. You're not getting the full 3 minutes. So that's why most times I leave fixed time watch. I leave it on. I like to leave it on. So that's just the difference. So I want to believe that we all understood up to the third point, right? So that we can do fourth point, fifth point, and we can finish on time. I don't want us to stay here till 12. Let's be able to finish on time, right? So I believe we understand so that we can proceed to the next thing. I believe we understand. So let's proceed to the next thing. All right, so now we have actually we've actually talked about the first point, we've talked about the second one, we've arrived at what? It's time for us to talk about what the fourth point. So for the fourth point, we have what we call the Bollinger Bands. We call them the Bollinger Bands. Now write it down. Bollinger Bands. Bollinger Bands. Now, the rule is that for the fourth point, the rule is this: take calls or buys at the green bands, and we are taking what? We are taking puts or sells at the red bands. Take calls or buys at the green bands, and we are taking what? We are taking puts or sells at the red bands. Now you notice that we are just working with colors. Anything green, we are doing buy for green. Anything red, we are doing what? We are doing sell for red. So this is it. This is what it means. This is what it means. Let me try and make this smaller so that, very good. Now, look at this. Look at all these wavy lines we have. See this thing, these wavy lines that, let me use my drawing tool so that you guys are able to see it. Look at, see all these green wavy lines like this, all these things. These are Bollinger Bands. Look at the red one, see the red one. All these lines like this, all these ones are Bollinger Bands, right? All these ones are Bollinger Bands. See this green line, these wavy lines, we call them Bollinger Bands. So now, how we actually use it is this is how we use it. Whenever we spot the market at the green band, you can see this particular candle, this area. You see the Bollinger Band passed through this area. The candle came to where the green band is. That is what we call what? That's our fourth point for the buy or call. Because what? The candle came to where that green band is. That's our fourth confirmation. The candle came to a green area. It's our fourth confirmation for what? For the buy. But now, same thing goes for what? For sales. You can see the candle, the market came to where? This market came to this red band area, as well as the red resistance line. So the market came to this red area, and what happened? It actually did what? It actually sold after a while, right? So it came to this green area, and what happened? It bought after a while. So the Bollinger Band is just like an elastic, right? The same way you have your trampoline. The market comes to this side, it will later catapult it to the top. It will come to this red area, it will later shoot it down, just like that. So that's how the market just moves within the bands. It just moves like that. So this top area, the top one, you see the red one there. Then the bottom one, you actually see what? You see the green one there, right? So anytime you actually see what? You actually see the market coming into this green area, it's our fourth point. It's our fourth point. If you see it coming around this red area, that's our fourth point for what? The red area for sell or put. The green area is what? The fourth point for call or buy, right? So it's very, very simple. We are just working with colors. We are just working with colors. So that's just our fourth confirmation. Look at, let me actually make this like this. Let me actually look for something else. Let me see if I can find something else to just use to explain so we understand. Let me see if this one is like that. All right, so great. So something like this, right? Something like this. Now we all agree that the price came to what? The red area. Look at, see the candles are around this red Bollinger Band, right? It's around this red Bollinger Band, right? Are you seeing it? These candles were around the red Bollinger Band. So remember what I said. Once you open up your broker, this candle, this last candle is the one you're looking out for. So this candle is obviously around this red Bollinger Band area. So that means we'll say this is our fourth point, right? This is our fourth point for sell. As far as the candle is around this red Bollinger Band area, that is our confirmation, our fourth confirmation for sell. Look at what happened back here. Look at what happened back here. It came to this red Bollinger Band area, and after a while, what happened? It sold, right? After a while, it sold. So that's what we're looking out for when we're talking about the fourth point or fourth confirmation. It's just this band. We're just looking at this band. We're just looking at this band. So let me see if I can find where it actually came to the green band. Amazing. Okay, this is something. So take a look at this one. Look at this area. So it came to a green band, and after a while, what happened? It shot up. right? The market went all the way up. So this is actually what? 4 points for call or buy. If you're actually looking out for buy or call, you consider something like this, the market coming down around this area. Look at from this area all the way down to this point. So depending on the candle you're looking out for, and when Cashtrap tells you or gives you a buy arrow, you can now determine, okay, this is my 4th point. Or even without knowing it yourself, Cashtrap will be able to give you that arrow, and you see the call score. You're going to see whether it's a 4 points trade or still a 3 points trade, just like that. So how many of us understand the 4th confirmation or the 4th point? How many of us understand the 4th point or the 4th confirmation? Everybody understands. Everybody understands. Very well. All right. So by the time we go all the way to what? All the way to the 6th point, don't worry, it will be so clear to everybody. Divine, Mr. Divine, it is simple. Green bands for buy, red bands for sell. Look at it. The market came where? It came to this area. See the candles, it came to these green bands. This would have been what? My 4th confirmation for call. It came to this red area. See here, it came here. It also came here. Things like this, these 2 points where it touched the bands, the red bands. It's my 4th confirmation for what? For put or sell. Check it now. That's all. So what's still confusing you? What's still confusing you? What's still confusing you? It's simple. Is the candle on the green Bollinger Band? Yes or no? It is there. Okay, that's my 4th point. Is it on the red Bollinger Band? Yes or no? It is there. That's my confirmation for what? For the sell. It's just straightforward. It's very, very easy to understand. So if you pay attention on this class, trust me, when you're watching the recording or the other 2 recordings I'm going to drop, it will be very, very easy to understand. You're going to be able to get it right. You'll be able to understand it better. All right, so let's actually go into the 5th confirmation. So let's go into the 5th one. We are almost done, right? I'm trying to be done before 11 even. I'm trying to be done before 11. Trying to be done before 11. So after the 4th confirmation, what's confirmation number 5? This one is straightforward. It's called the DMI. Yes, the last candle. That's what we always look at. Exactly. So the 5th confirmation is what we call the DMI. Write it down. 5th confirmation, DMI. 5th confirmation is what? The DMI. So DMI is simple. It gives us what? It gives us alphabets. It gives us B or S. Look at it. Look at it here. This is the DMI. If it's a buy trend, we have a B. If it's a sell trend, we have what? We have an S, right? So the last thing showing there is what you should be looking out for, right? So if we're actually looking out for buys on a trade, we should be able to spot out a B, right? This should be our 5th confirmation. If we're looking out for buys and we see a B as the last letter here, we can now say, okay, this is my 5th point or my 5th confirmation. But if I'm looking out for a buy and I see an S here, what happens? I don't count it as 5 points. I still have what? 4 points, because this one does not agree. So I still have 4 points. And once you have 4 points, what does it say? Once you have 4 points, what does it say? 4 points is still a better trade. You can still take a 4 points trade, right? Don't get me wrong. If you don't get up to 5 points, or if you're getting everything in check, and you get to the DMI and the DMI does not agree, guess what? You still have 4 points. You can still take that trade, right? You can still take that trade. So this is just how it works. You either get S or B. The B is what? Is green color, so it's an indication for buy. The S is what? Is red color, so it's an indication for sell. So if I was supposed to sell, on this trade, let me actually look for an old trade that has something that has to do with sell. Let me see if I can find anything that can work out. I don't know. Okay. Let me not go back, but just understand that the last letter showing there is going to represent what you should be. It's just like B, the buyers are in control, or this trend is a buying market, that kind of thing. If it gets the S, is what? It's a selling trend or a selling market. Let me actually go back to the write-up again. So look at it here. So DMI, the green, or the B equals what? We are looking for buys or calls. If you get the red S, we are looking for what? Sells or puts. So this is like your fifth confirmation, whether you should be taking what? A buy or a sell. So if you've got that written down, let me see it done in the chat so that we can finish on time. It's getting late. So if you've written all that, let me see you drop done. Okay, Kingsley is done. All right, almost everyone is taking notes. All right, amazing. So now we move over to the sixth confirmation, right? We're almost done. You see, we are number 6. We are almost done, right? We are number 6. So now this is it. After the DMI, we have this thing over here. This is called what? This is called the stochastic. This is called the stochastic. Let me try and see if I can make it big. Amazing. So this is what the stochastic looks like. After the DMI, it looks like this. So now the rule is simple. The rule is simple. We are still following colors, right? We're still sticking to colors. So anytime you see this black line come to the red area here, it's what? You should be looking out for what? Sells or puts. So this black line has to do something. The black line has to do something. So the black line has to move from what? You know that the market is like a battle between buyers and sellers. The market is a battle between buyers and sellers. So at some point, this black line was what? Was in the buy area, right? So the green line represents that the buyers are in control, right? And the red line represents what? The sellers are in control. So now, at some point, you notice that the market was in the buyer's area, and what happened? This black line moved all the way up to where? The seller's area. So by the time this black line is coming down from the sell area, that is what we call what? That's our 6 points. That's our 6 points. Seeing the black line go to the red area and crossing back down from the red area, that's our 6 points for sell. Now, look at 6 points for buy. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. All these points. See what happens. The market comes from the sellers to the buyers. Now, on the market going back up, immediately it crosses or immediately it faces upwards, right? See an example of a sell here. Look at this point. See this area. See this area. Can you see what the market did? It came from the buyers, and what happened? It's now crossing back down from this red line. It's now crossing back down. This would be what? My 6th point for sell. To get my 6 points for buys is what? The market came from the sellers to this area. On its way crossing back up or facing up, that's what? This is my 6 points for buy. Very, very simple, right? Very, very simple. So I want to see what? I just want to see this black line going to the seller's area. If I'm looking for put, I want to watch this black line come all the way to this red area. And what? The moment I see it start to face down or crossing down, that is the confirmation I'm looking for. 6 points. Same thing for the buys. I'm watching to see the market move from sellers and come back to the buyers. The moment it's crossing back up like this or facing up is what? 6 points for the buy or call. Now, how many people understand it? How many of you understand? How many of us understand it? How many of us understand? How many of us understand? Right, so everybody understands. Everybody understands. Let's see the write-up. Okay, go to the rapid. Let's take note. Hey, Jesus Christ. Okay, so now this is it. We are on number 6. We are on number 6, right? So take calls / buys when the black line crosses up or faces up the green line. Take calls / buys when the black line crosses up or faces up the green line. That is your 6th point for what? For a buy. That's your 6th point for a buy. Now for sell, take puts or sells when the black line crosses down or faces down the red line. Simple. That's your 6th point. Now, if you've written down from point 1 all the way down to point 6, let me see you drop down so that we can move over to number 7, right? Now we can move over to number 7. Gift, a cash multimillionaire. It's already done. It's already done. So let's move over to number 7. If you've written down number 6, write done. Write done. Done. Amazing. All right. So let me give some other people time in case you're still writing. So write it down quickly so that we can finish on time. We're almost done. It's so simple, right? So once we are done writing, once we are done going through the points, we'll now look at a chart and count how many points we have. We'll look at about three different examples and we'll all count it together, right? So everybody says done. So aside the stochastic, we also have another thing. We also have what we call the RSI. Now look at this. Aside stochastic, we also have RSI. Now RSI and stochastic, they look alike. See, this middle one is the stochastic. Now this other one, the last one is the RSI. So it's the same work. They behave the same way, right? They behave the same way. The same black line coming to the green, you're seeing it crossing up. That's your point. Now on the RSI, same thing. The black line coming to the green, it crosses up the green line or faces up. That's your point for buy. Or it crosses down the red. That's your point for sell. So the RSI and the stochastic, they behave the same way, right? They have the same, it's the same confirmation. Look at it, it's the same thing. It's the same behavior, right? So the same thing you're doing, You want to see the market coming towards the red area. It's coming from the buyers. It's going to the red areas, facing down or crossing down. That's what? Your 7th point for sell. Now, what happens again? It comes down from the sell area, comes to the buy area. On its way crossing up, that's what? That's your 7th point for what? Call or buy. Straightforward. No plenty talk. Simple. Right? That's all you're looking for. So this one that has actually crossed all the way up, look at this one. This one that has crossed, it has gone from here to this point. Look at this one that has crossed all the way to the red area. It has gotten here. It has gotten here. So what I'm looking out for is what? If I'm looking out for a sell, I should be expecting this black line to do what? To start facing down, right? To start facing down. So I'll now say, okay, this is my 7th point for sell. This is my 7th point for sell. So it's very, very understandable, right? It's the same behavior. The stochastic and the RSI, they do almost the same thing. In fact, they do the same thing. They actually do the same thing. So let me see you drop 1 in the chat if you've been following and you understood. Let me see you drop a 1 in the chat. What if the stochastic and the RSI don't match? Good question. If the stochastic is telling us, if the stochastic is, let me actually do something. Right. I like questions like that. Let me see if I can move this thing to the left. All right, so let's actually do something practical. Let's actually do something practical. We have, okay, this is what I'll do. Look at, we have stochastic. Don't mind my handwriting. We have stochastic. Then we have RSI here. So now we have the stochastic looking like this. We have the stochastic looking like this. Then we have the RSI beneath that. If we are looking for, if we're actually looking for a put, right? And the stochastic is looking like this. It's looking like this. The stochastic has already given us what we want, right? Stochastic has already given us this cross down as our 6 points. Now, on the RSI, we are looking for the same thing, right? We're looking for a cross down as well for us to get what? 7 points. But if we actually have it like this, it's not yet here at the red area, right? If we actually have it like this, what am I supposed to do? I don't count it as a point. I still have what? I still just have 6 points. I don't count that as an extra confirmation. It's still 6 points. So if it's not matching up to the stochastic, it's still 6 points, right? It's not 7. It's not 7. So I don't count it as what do you call it? I don't count it as an extra confirmation for a 7th point. I'm still left with 6 points. Do you people actually understand? Is it clear? Is it clear? Nancy, do you understand it? Chisom, listen, they must not match. They must not match. 3 points equals good trade. 4 points what? Better trade. Amazing or great trade is what? 5 points and above. If you're left with 6 points, aren't you supposed to take the trade? You're supposed to take it. It's not compulsory they must match. I'm only telling you what the RSI should look like or what the stochastic should look like. Normally, if you're taking a sell, you should be looking for what the black line to come over to this area and what cross down. But if it doesn't go there, what are you supposed to do? If it doesn't go there, you don't count it as a point. You just stick to your 6 points you already have, right? You just stick to your 6 points you already have. Let me actually check the charts. Let me see whose iPhone saying not really. You mustn't exactly gifty. You must not get 7/7. That's the thing. You must not get 7/7. Just stick to your 3 points and above. If you get 3 points, it's already a good trade. You must not get all 7 at once. You must not get all 7 at once. So let's go back to the write-up. Let me try and clear this up so that we can actually see the write-up and finish up on time. Let's see the 7th write-up and we can finish on time. All right, so look at it there. RSI. So we are taking calls or buys when the black line crosses up or faces the green line. And we are equally taking what? We're equally taking puts or sells when the black line crosses or faces down the red line. You can see it's actually same thing like the stochastic, the 6 points. So if you've actually written down the 7th one, drop done in the chart. Taking down the 7th one, drop done in the chart. If you've taken down the 7th one, drop done in the chart. And let's actually check out the last point. So once we're done with the last point, we actually do what? We actually look at the charts together and we actually try and count some of the points together. We actually do it together, right? So if you're done, just drop done in the chat and let's actually look at it together. Let's look at the 8th one. Only 10 people have written done. So are you trying to say it's only 10 people taking notes? The other people are not doing anything. Only 10 people writing done. The other people aren't doing anything. You're just watching. Just screenshotting. Okay. All right. If you say so. If the currency strength meter says buy and all other points are pointing towards a sell, what do we do, sir? Gifty, I'm going to ask you this question. What are you supposed to do? Nobody should answer, please. Gifty, what are you supposed to do? If the currency strength meter says buy and every other confirmation is pointing towards sell, what are you supposed to do? Leave the trade. So why are you still asking? That's what you should do. Leave the trade and look for something else, right? Look for something else that agrees. Or wait till the other points start agreeing with the currency strength meter. So Benita, what's the full meaning of RSI? Relative Strength Index. Let me actually try to look for it here. RSI. Look at it up there. Relative Strength Index. This is the meaning of RSI. Relative Strength Index. All right, so the final and last point or confirmation we're going to be looking at is the EMA. EMA. The EMA means exponential moving average. Exponential moving average. That's the meaning of EMA. Now, this is the EMA. Look at this thick line that actually changes color. This thick line that actually changes. So the EMA, look at the EMA here. See this thick line. This thick line is the EMA. This thick line is the EMA. And guess what? It changes color. It actually changes color. So how many of us can tell me what we are supposed to be looking out for having the EMA like this? I want to see those that are actually very, very smart and sharp. With the way the EMA is looking, what are we supposed to be doing? Victoria put, Precious put, Emmy Star says sell. Gift says sell. Tammy says put. Anita says put, sell, sell. Amazing. Now everybody understands. So as far as the color of the EMA is what? Is red. I'm supposed to be doing what? I'm supposed to be selling. Right? As far as the color of the EMA is red, I'm supposed to be selling. Now, look at, does a time the EMA was what? Green. Does a time the color of the EMA was what? Green. So when it was green, what would I have been doing? Sorry. The time it was green, what am I supposed to be doing? I'm supposed to be taking buys. It's simple. It's very, very straightforward, right? Now, this is how it works. When the market is above the EMA, when the market is above the EMA changes color to green, right? As far as the market remains above the EMA, changes color to green. But now look at this. The very moment the market broke through and stayed under the EMA, what happened? Look at, the EMA became red for a while, right? It became red for a while. It became red for a while. Now look at, this. Ever since the market did what? The market came below the EMA. What happened? The EMA turned to what? The EMA turned to red. The EMA turned to red. And it became a downtrend. So in a downtrend, all we are doing is what? We are selling. In an uptrend, we are doing what? We are buying. So once the EMA is red, we are actually in a downtrend. Once the EMA is red, we are in a downtrend. And once the EMA is green, we are in an uptrend. So we are buying in uptrends and we are selling in downtrends. So that is what this one means. So now, if you actually look at the strength meter again, it will also give you a clue. Look at, we're in a downtrend, sales. Now look at the strength meter. NZD was 70, right? It's clearly telling you that this thing will be selling massively. 70, and the top is what? 34. So it's going to be telling you that this thing will be selling massively, right? So we should be looking for sales. So now let me look for one that has the EMA as green. CHF JPY should have green because the top is very, very strong. Now, can you look at the moment the market broke through here, the EMA became what? It became green. So at this point, you should know that, okay, calls, 8 points. Straightforward, it's very, very simple, right? So once you see that EMA color change to green, you know that anything you're supposed to be doing, if you're counting that as an 8 confirmation, it should be what? It should be calls, it should be buys. You only take what? Sells or puts when the EMA color is what? Is red. So do we understand? Yes or no? Are we good to go? Do you understand it now? Are we good to go? If you understood that explanation, just drop a yes in the chat and let's move forward. So we should start looking for trade setups. So guys, write it down before we start looking for trade setups. Sammy. Sorry, but just repeat once. Yeah, one time for Sammy. One more time. Once the EMA is green, we are doing what? We are taking buys. Green color represent buys. As far as the market is on top the EMA or above the EMA, the market is above this EMA. So we are taking what? Buys. We are taking buys. So in a situation like this, the market is below the EMA. Look at. The market is below the EMA. So as far as the market is below the EMA color is now showing what? It's now showing red. So we should be taking what? Should be taking puts. Is that easy? Is that easy? It's very, very easy. Right? So that's what I just explained, Sammy. So if you understood it, let me see you drop yes. If you understood, drop a yes in the chat. So that's the 8th confirmation, and that's everything about Cashtrap. That's everything about Cashtrap. So now, with the knowledge we've gotten from all these points, we can now what? Add it up together and do what? Start taking trades on our own. We don't need to wait for anybody to call trades for us. With this knowledge now, we can do what? Johnny, please just focus on the basics, please. Focus on the basics. Stop trying to be too forward. Stop trying to be too forward. Just understand the basics, right? Just try to understand the basics. I'm going to explain something. Just try to understand the basics. So do we all understand the 8th confirmation? Take calls or buys when the market is above EMA. Then take puts or sells when the market is below the EMA. That's the simple explanation. It's very, very straightforward, right? So just pay attention to the basics. You need to understand the basics before you start going deeper into any other thing. It's this basic thing that you need to understand at first. So if you've written it down, drop done so that we can look at 1 or 2 examples so that we can finish, we can close on time. We've spent over 2 hours, right? But the most important thing is that you guys get to understand it. The most important thing is that everybody gets to understand. So from 61, we've dropped to 45. All right, done. So now let's look at trades together. Let's assume this market is, let's assume this one is a live market. Let me see. I'm looking for, I don't think it's going to give us, when Cashtrap is closed or when the market is closed, I'm not sure Cashtrap gives us support and resistance lines again. But anyways, okay, this one gave us. So let's actually look at this market as if it were real, right? Let's count the points. We are not assuming. Let's actually count the points together for this market. Let's actually count the points for this market. Now, let's count it together. So the very first thing we are supposed to be looking out for is what? The currency strength meter, right? So we're looking out for the currency strength meter. So we are going to look at Cashtrap as it is presently, and we are also going to assuming the first and second points were the same, or assuming the first point agreed with the arrow. So as it is like this, we already know that AUD is stronger, so we should be looking out for what? We should be looking out for calls. We should be looking out for buys. So that's our first point for buy. So now we have what? We have put. So if the currency stream meter is telling me to call, and this thing is telling me what? It's telling me put. I'm not supposed to take this trade normally, right? I don't take a trade like this. I don't want to take a trade like this because what? The arrow is not agreeing with the currency strength. But now let's assume this is actually a call. Let's assume this is actually a call. So we can have it that the currency strength meter is telling us to do what? It's telling us to what? Buy 1 point. Let's assume we had what? We had call. This would have been what? Second point, right? So now we also want to assume that we had what? We had a call arrow, right? We had a call arrow. So let's say these are 2 points. So now what we should be looking out for is what? What's the third point? What's the third point? Who can remind us? From your notes, what's the third point? If you've been taking notes, what's the third point? What's the third point? Support line, right? Everybody agrees, support line, support and resistance. So if we're taking a buy, it's what? We are focusing on support. And what's the color of the support? What's the color of the support line? What's the color of the support line? Green. Jojo says green. Everybody agrees it's green. Quite all right, great. So now what we're doing is what? We want to actually see, we want to actually watch this market coming to where? This green line here. Look at, we want to actually watch the market come to this green line to give us what? 3 points. Now, what's our fourth point confirmation? What's our fourth point confirmation? Someone please drop it in the chat. What's our fourth point confirmation? Bollinger Bands. And what color of Bollinger Bands are we looking out for? What color of Bollinger Bands are we looking out for? Clarence says green. Who else agrees? Johnny says green. Gifty says green. Jojo says green. Anita says green. So now you can all see that what? You can see that this candle is coming to the, or it came to this green, right? It came to this green area, right? Can you see it? The last candle came to what? The green area. So we can say this is what? This is us having what? 4 points. Now, fifth point, what do we have there? For the fifth point confirmation, what do we have there? Fifth point, what do we have there? Clara says DMI, right? DMI. So what's the DMI telling us? What's the DMI telling us? Clara says B for buy. B, right? So B for buy is what? 5 points. 5 points. B for buy, that's 5 points. Correct. So now we actually have what? We actually have 5 points. So we actually have 5 points to take a trade. From 3 points, we can take the trade. 4 points, we can take the trade. With 5 points, we can take the trade, right? So now, let's say we wanted more confirmations. We want to make sure we have what? We want to make sure we have 6, 7, 8. So now let's move over to the sixth confirmation, which is the stochastic. So look at the stochastic very well. And what do you guys actually think? Are we counting it as a point? Yes or no? Are we counting that as a point? Yes or no? Why? Why do you say no? Why do you say no? What's your reason for saying no? What's your reason for saying no? It's still coming down, right? Sammy says it's still coming down. Gifty said it's downwards. It's showing a sell. Exactly. It's still selling. Johnny said it's not crossing over the green, right? It's not on the green. Exactly. All of you are correct. It's still facing down instead of what? Facing up from the green. right? It's crossed down from the red. It's still facing down. It's still showing selling power. So we don't actually count that as what? Don't count that as a point for what? For a buy, right? So we are still left with 5. We are still left with 5. So now, after the RSI, the stochastic, we have what? We have the RSI. So now, this is the RSI. So now, guys, tell me, are we still taking the RSI as a point confirmation, or we are going to leave it like the the stochastic? Are we going to take it as a confirmation? No. Everybody says no. So now, why? Because we leave it exactly, because it didn't cross down like this. It didn't give us the cross down we had in the past, right? It didn't give us something like this. You see this cross? See this cross here? You see the way it crossed here? It didn't give us something like this. It didn't give us something like this. See what happened in the past. It didn't give us something like this. So we are not going to count it as a point. So guess what? We are still left with 5 points. So now the 6 points is not, we're not counting 6, we're not counting 7. But now, guess what? We actually have what? Where's the EMA? Do we have the EMA? Are we counting the EMA? We are counting the EMA, right? Why do you think we should consider the EMA? Why do you think we should consider the EMA? It's green, right? And it's below the market. It's green, it's below the market. So now, all we're doing is what? The EMA is now going to be what? The EMA is now going to be our 6 points. Since the stochastic and what? The RSI failed to give us points, the EMA is now what? Our 6 points. And if you come back here, we have it at what? If you come back here, we have it at what? 6 points trade is what? 5 points and above is a great trade or an amazing trade. So all I'm doing is what? Round tick for a buy. All I'm doing is what? Horizontal line where? Support line, 276, AUD JPY. I go to my broker. All I'm doing is what? AUD JPY. I wait for what? 276. Once I get 276, I click on what? I click on call. That's how you simply take your trade with counting the points. So simple. After you count your confirmations, you mark up the support as your entry, you get the score, and what? You go to your broker and take the trade. Simple. That's how we take trades with Cashtrap, right? So I know that the whole teaching is making it look like it's so long. It's going to take long to look at these things, but trust me, as far as you have your notes beside you, when the market is open on Monday, what are you doing? As you want to take trades on your demo, you're going through the steps. If you can do this thing 2 days, 3 days, trust me, you'll be clearing trades on your own confidently. You clear trades on your own confidently. Cashtrap has given us 6-figure traders, 5-figure traders. Every single person started like you. We joined this academy the same way. So this is what we'll be using to make money. So trust me, once you just have this basic understanding, you can start making money, right? You can start making money for yourself. So it's very, very simple. It is very, very simple. In Kurika, when is the best time to take a trade? I don't really have a best time to take trade. That question, like a lot of people ask me, like I don't really have a best time to take trade. The truth is, once I check the news and I see that I am free to take a trade, I just take trades. I don't really have a time, right? I don't really have a time I trade or a particular time where I want to trade. Let me actually show you guys what I mean by the news. But first of all, let me understand if everybody got the explanation correctly. If you understood what we just did, let me see you drop yes in the chat. If we're good to go, let me see you drop a yes in the chat. If you understood it, let me see you drop yes. If you understood it, let me see you drop yes. All right, so everybody understands. Everybody understands. So I'm going to look for one more example, and we are going to count the points together. Hourglass is not the same as TradingView. I don't understand your question. Chisum, please. Kingsley, but is this hourglass same as TradingView? Uchendu, what if the trades meet all 8 points and you use up all the amounts in the account? Would the trade fall? Why would you use all the amounts? The market is not your father's market. You can have 8 points, and what happens? What if that point you enter, the market drops below that point when you're about to clear? What are you going to do? That's the reason why we have rollover, because we are not sure of when the market is going to go in the direction. These confirmations is only telling us that the market should sell. It's not telling us precisely that, oh, it's a buy market. So don't do that. Don't do that. Whether you have 10 points, 50 points, use your risk amount. Use your risk amount. Don't be this person that, oh, I taught you to buy. That's why I put all my money inside. You're going to blow your account. That's the truth. Why not have all your 8 points complete and what? Enter the trade with your risk 2%, and grow your account gradually than just enter full amount and what? One mistake, you've blown the whole account. Start from square one. So please, whether you're getting 5 points, 6 points, 7 points, or 8 points, stick to the amount size you want to use, right? I nearly lost my mind. Don't be a greedy trader. That's how it starts till you blow your account. These icons by the side, what are they for? Which icons? These ones or these ones? Okay, these are other strategies. It depends on the package you're on, right? So I'm currently on the HFX package, and what happens? I only have access to the strategies for HFX. So if you're on the elite package, you're going to see all these icons light up. There are different colors, right? You're going to see green, yellow, blue. That means that's trying to tell you you have access to all other strategies. But for me, I have access to what? Hourglass and what? If I click on this one, Liberty, it has its own strategies, right? So for this class is Cashtrap. I don't want to actually go down to showing you other strategies. This class is just strictly Cashtrap. So Jojo, if you have 6 confirmations, what time is better? Like I said, Cashtrap is 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Cashtrap is 2 to 3 minutes. In HFX is 2 to 3 minutes. Highest you see 5, right? For Cashtrap, 2 to 3 minutes is the advisable time you should enter a trade for. So 2% is advisable to use from the account, irrespective of the amount. iPhone, I don't know what your name is. 1% to 2% advisable, right? Don't use more than that. If your account is $100, what is 1%? $1. If your account is $100, still 2% of $100 is what? It's just $2. If your account is 1,000, 1% is what? It's $10, right? 2% is $20. Don't use more than that per trade. Don't use more than that per trade. So I believe everybody understands. Let's take one more example and we end it. Wow, this recording is going to be so long. It's going to be so long. So I just wish you guys will actually take your time to watch it again. So one more example and we end the class. One more example and we end the class so that we can look at something else. We can focus on something else. Let me see card CHF. All right, so let's actually count the points for this one together. Let's actually count the points for this one together. So I want someone to look at this setup and tell me how many points we have here. So take your time. I'm going to drop the recording in the launch call groups. I'm going to drop the recording there when it's out. So now take your time. Everybody, look at this chart and tell me how many points we would have had if we were to take this trade, or how many points we should be looking out for if we were to take this trade. Look at it. Be very, very careful. Take your time. Don't just rush and drop an answer in the chat. Take your time. Tell me how many trades, how many points this is. How many points this is. I want to actually see the sharpest person here. How many points? How many points? Look at it very well. Are you guys done with your answers? Are you guys done with your answers? So are we going to count it together now? So some people say 5 points, some people say 7 points. Someone says 6 points. Kingsley says 6. Sammy says 6. Interesting. All right, so let's count together. Let's count it together. Let's count it together. So we have what? We have the currency square meter. CHF is greater than the top. So we're looking for sales, right? We have what? We have put. So this is 1, this is 2, right? So now what happens? Remember what I told you about candles and what? And wicks. The wick shows you that the market has actually gotten to that point, right? So this is what we have. So this is what we have. Let me see if I can expand this. Someone says 4. Are you sure? All right, great. So now the third point we're looking out for is what? Is the resistance line, the red line. So this is our resistance line, right? This is our resistance line. This is our resistance line. And if you actually look at what? If you actually look at the candle wick, right? It actually tells you that at some point the market came to this red line. Just before the market closed, this would have been a nice trade to enter, but it's so unfortunate we didn't actually see it, right? So it actually came to that red line. It actually came there. So this red line here equals what? 3 points. Did it actually get to the Bollinger Band? No, it didn't get there. It's not something like this. It didn't actually get to the band, right? It's just the wick that got there. So it's still 3 points. It's still 3 points. It didn't get to the Bollinger Band. It's still 3 points. DMI below, right, is showing us a B. When we should be looking for what? We should be looking for sales. So DMI has canceled out. So now the stochastic is what? It crossed down. This is what? 4 points. RSI crossed down. This is what? 5 points. We have what? The EMA red. This is what? 6 points. This is a 6 point trade, right? It's a 6 point trade. This would have been a 6 point trade. So to everybody that said 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, you all are correct. You all are correct. Everybody who said 6, you got it right. The 6 point trade. So all you'd have done for this trade is what? You'd have done what? Put your horizontal line where? On that red line, the price you get 234, card CHF. On your broker, card CHF. You just go to your broker, right? You wait for the market to come where? Waited for the market to come to this red line. So by the time the market's coming to this red line, that is where you're entering. By the time it gets to 234, CAD CHF, you just wait for the last 2 digits, 234. You enter for a put for 3 minutes. And that's how you'd have taken your sell trade. So it's that simple. So I hope everybody understands everything we've discussed or everything we've learned so far. So those people that said 7 points or 4 points, let me actually hear from you guys. What were you actually looking at? What made you think it was a 4-point trade, or what made you think it was 5? What made you think it was 7? Who changed your Prince? Stop taking multiple times. Don't take a trade multiple times. I think you should actually try it out. Try it out, then come and tell me what you actually got from taking multiple times. I'm sure you're going to blow your account. That's the truth. Right? So how many of us understood how to count the points? How many of us understood how to count the points? How many of us got value? I thought it was a counting the Bollinger Band. Okay, Anita, see, you didn't actually get to the Bollinger Band. Let me actually do something. Is there a way to remove this arrow? Let me try and zoom. All right. Do you see that the wick stopped here? It didn't actually come here. It didn't actually get to the band. The wick of this candle just stopped here. So you don't count it, right? It just stopped here. It didn't come here, so you don't count that. You don't count it. Now look at these other ones. Look at these candles for buys, the Bollinger Band for buys. Are you seeing the way the candle came into the Bollinger Band? The candle entered there. See the wick entered here for buy. It didn't happen over here, so we don't count it like that. We don't actually count it like that. Counting, okay. So all of you got to understand. Sammy, 100% amazing. Okay, Mrs. Morin, I said 4 points because the stochastic and RSI didn't cross over before crossing down. No, you're getting it wrong. You're getting it wrong. Let me show you. Let me show you something. You're not looking at what happened in the past. This is what you're looking at, what it's currently doing. You're not looking at anything that happened back here. You're not paying attention to that. Is what is happening here. Look at, see this present candle down here. What is happening here, right? The present candle you're looking at, what is happening there? The stochastic and RSI is crossing down. This is what I'm focusing on. This candle does not have any business with what is happening in the past, right? Doesn't have any business what is happening in the past. So this red candle here, all the way down, this is what is happening. This is what is happening. Cross down, cross down. So that's why I counted them, right? So that's what you should be looking out for. Not what has happened in the past. All right, so Esther, since I didn't see any S, just B's, I thought the space represented the S. No, the space does not represent. Is the last letter there, not the space. The last letter there. So since the last letter there was a B, I don't count it as a point because I'm supposed to be seeing an S there. So that is it. So let me see in the chat if there's anything I need to address again. There's anything I need to address again. All right, Prince, please don't take multiple trades. Anita, you're the best coach. You're the best mentee. Can't wait to start winning. Exactly. That's what I want to see. So I hope everybody got value. Everybody understood. Everybody got value. Everybody understood. So I'm sure we are ready to kill the markets from we're ready to kill the markets from Monday. The market is going to be open from Sunday 10 p.m. right? But you want to make sure it clocks 12 so that you know that, okay, it's Monday proper, right? So let me actually give you guys an assignment. So I'm going to be dropping recordings for each and every one of us to see. I'm going to be dropping assignments for each and every one of us to see. So I expect that all of us, we actually watch it. So I'm coming. Let me just look for recordings. So guys, just hold on. Okay, but before you guys go, let me do something. Let me actually drop this point system in the chats again, right? For those of us that aren't taking notes, because I want to be sure everybody took notes, but let me just drop it once again in the chat. Let me drop it once again in the chat. Okay. Sorry. What am I doing? What am I doing? I'm trying to select one. Where's this video? Where did I keep this video? Oh my God. I'm coming. Let me look for the video before my battery goes off. All right, I think I've seen it. I think I've seen it. Prince, thank you. Coach, please, how to count? Like, I don't understand why you're asking me this question. Didn't we just count these things together now? So which one is how to count again? Isn't just what we just did? All right, so I'm dropping your assignment on the group chats. I'm dropping your assignments on the group chats. Please and please and please. Everything I'm going to drop, I need you people to watch it. I need you people to watch it. So watch this one. Watch this one. Watch that. Let me look for something else. Come in, just a minute. Let me look for something else. Trust me, if you actually watch it, you basically know what you're doing. So let me actually, the IM launch call group chat, that's the group chat you should be checking. IM launch call group chat. If you're not on the launch call on my team, how did you get the link? How did you get the link? That's the question. I'm coming, just give me a minute. Let me try look for this other video. There's one more video I want to send out. Coming, guys, just a minute. Chisom, you just heard me. I said, if you're on the launch call on my team group chat, you're going to get the videos. Hmm. All right, I'm coming. Trying to see where I kept it. Okay, I think I've seen the second one. Send the second one. Okay. So this one's all right. So also go through these ones. Also go through these ones. All right. So I just dropped it on the launch call group chats. Hmm? So I don't know. This one, people are saying you're not on the launch call. I don't know what to do. All right. So I think I should stop recording. Right? I think I should stop recording. We're already done with the class.